last speaker. I told the organizers, I said, I don't like to be the last speaker because half the crowd would have gone home. They said, no, we'll make them stay, and you stayed. Is it for the CPD hours? I hope not. So, the Prime Minister and the Education Minister went for a walk. They were in the hawker center, the food court, and they saw this man selling fishball noodles all by himself, working very hard. So the Prime Minister and the Education Minister said, why are you working so hard? Don't you have an employee? He said, oh, hard to get an employee. He said, don't you have any children to help you? The guy said, yeah, I got 3 sons, but they're all in the universities. Oh, the PM was impressed. Which university is there? My first son is in NUS. My second son is in NTU. And the third son is in SMU. Oh, the Prime Minister was impressed. He told Ong Ye Kuen, wow, look at this guy. 3 sons, all in the university. What are they studying? And the fishball noodle guy said, they're not studying there. They're also selling fishball noodle. So, I'm going to tell you the whole truth and not half the truth. Is that all right with you? Okay, so come, let's start. I need you to answer this question first, okay? I want you to complete this sentence. I don't want you to think. I want you to be spontaneous. Whatever comes to your heart, whatever comes to your mind, I just want you to shout it out first. Can you do that for me? Are you ready? Okay, come, complete this sentence. I wish I had more. You see, it's the same. It's the same. Okay. Money is a very good thing to have. I'm glad you are very honest. I came from a very poor family, so I know the difference. Okay? Money is very nice. People who tell you money is the root of all evil are all bloody liars. Money is the root of all evil. Imagine, look at this. Does it look evil? It looks bloody good to me. Okay, so I had none before. Now I've got a lot more, and I tell you it's better to have money. Yeah. So now that we're on the same wavelength, okay. Okay, that was me. In 1980, my name was then Robert Younger. Just a very short history about myself. I was a flight steward at Singapore Airlines, and one day I was not feeling well, and I went to see the doctor, and I was prescribed that day to have this syndrome called the SFNMS syndrome, and I knew that I had to leave the airlines. I could not fly anymore. SFMNF stands for salary finish, month not finish. So I told my mother, I said, I'm going to leave the airline. She threw a fit. She said, what are you going to do? I said, I want to become rich. I'm tired of being broke all the time. And she says, what do you mean you want to become rich? You look at your face. What do you want to become rich? I said, Mom, this is my life. Let me do what I want. I promise you I'll do my best. And I came back to this industry for the 4th time. And my whole life changed. So I'm going to talk with you about what happened and what's important in our career. So the first, for most people, we come in because of the income. Not in order of importance, but income. Income is very important. You know by now that money is almost everything, right? It's not everything, but it's almost everything. And I tell people, if I cannot get everything, I have almost everything, I'm still all right. So, there's a lot of money to be made here. MDRT is a good goal because MDRT, like first time you got to do it by commission, is over 100,000. And if you get there, at least you're on the starting block. Okay? Now, but the money won't come to you. You got to go to the money. And that means that all the other speakers have told you, it's not easy. For some of you, there are 3 types of agents here. 3 types of people. The first one is what we call 1 out of 10. These are the naturals. You come into the business because of your flair, your personality, your karma, reincarnated before, I don't know. But you're just one of those naturals. You come in, you will succeed anywhere. This is 1 out of 10. The 70%, the 7 out of 10, you're going to make it, but it's not going to be easy. The first one is like a helicopter. Come in, boom. First year can do MDRT. Some even first year can do COT, whatever it is. The 7 out of 10 are like the aeroplanes. You go before you take off. How long is this? Depends on you. Okay? Now there's one lady here that I want to make a point with if she's here. Is Delia here? Delia. Where's Delia? Okay, Delia, come up here. Quick, come up here. Now, this is an example of an aeroplane. Let's give Delia a big hand. Now, you don't have to say anything. Now, Delia is a very good example of an aeroplane. I met her 15 years ago when she first became an FA. She was not my agent. She's not my agent. But I was disturbed in my office because of her. Because she was always having so many problems with whoever. And when I looked at her, I said, this one, finish. No hope. Okay? But she's very, very determined. She's incredibly determined. 15 years ago, if you had seen Delia, you know that she will not win the Miss Singapore contest. Okay? That's about how it was 15 years ago. I'm sorry, you just keep quiet, huh? And the personality wasn't there yet. You know, she was quite a bit of a mix-up person at that time. That's what I felt. But she was incredible. She had no natural market. Her relatives won't buy from her. Her friends stopped knowing her when she became an FA. But she would go to the MRT station and she would talk to people. Very aggressive, 50 people. One day you hear a story. 50 people she approached. That's her target. She will talk to 50 people. After 50 people, that's it. She will probably get on an average 48 no's. One will give her a telephone number which happens to be KFC or Pizza Hut. And the other one will probably be a name, and when she calls, maybe she gets an appointment, maybe she doesn't. But that's how tenacious she is. And she didn't do her MDRT in the first year or the second year or the third year. But she kept on, and she was as determined as what the other speakers have spoken. So, 7 or 8 years ago, she wrote me. She says, Robert, I did my first biggest case. It was like $15,000 in annual premium. And then subsequently she wrote me and said, Robert, I finally did my MDRT after 7 years. I think she deserves a big hand. Now, and ever since then, she's been qualifying MDRT every year. Okay? Wonderful. Here, I'll give you some money. Take the money. Okay, you can go now. So this income is, you see, at 100,000 in Singapore, you're only at first base. You're only at first base. You're still in the HDB class. Nothing wrong with HDB, don't get me wrong. But all of us would rather have a condo, landed property. Let's face it, okay? Let's not be shy about money. At 100,000, you're still at first base. You need to earn more. Because recently, one of our ministers, if you remember, said that if you earn less than 500,000, you're still mediocre. Remember? So you got to earn more than 500,000, and when you go to COT, you're going to hit that, okay? But I'm telling you, money is more fun to have. Earn as much as you want. And if they even say even $1 million today not enough, somebody says they should earn more than $1 million. You heard that, right? By now you should know which party I vote for. But never mind, it's not important at this point. So money is very important. Money gives you security, gives you freedom of choice, it gives you everything. So I came into this business dead poor. I didn't even have 2 coins to start with. I was in debt. But I have to make the money. Okay? Now, and to make the money, you got to be hardworking. Many years ago, they said you work hard. Remember? Then some bright spark said, no, you don't work hard, you should work smart. Then everybody started working smart and not working hard. Today, there's no stupid person anymore. There's this thing called the internet. You don't know something, you just Google, they will teach you. Very few stupid people. So everyone is smart today. So you want to be on top, you got to be smart and you got to work hard. Agreed or not? Okay. So, it will mean the prime time is in front of a prospect. This is simple. If you're not in front of a prospect talking to somebody, you're not going to close the case. Now in this audience today, I'm sure there's somebody here who does not have an appointment tomorrow. Yes? I'm sure one of you have got no appointment to see a prospect tomorrow. Would you like to come up here? Please come up here. Come on, come up here. Okay, come up here. Okay, come. Quick.
Hello.
What is your name? Wing Hong.
Yeah.
Win Hong.
Yeah.
Wing. Okay, can I call you Wing?
Yes.
Wing. Okay, if you don't have an appointment tomorrow, let me tell you you're not going to win, okay? Now, you don't have an appointment to see somebody tomorrow. Is that correct?
Yes.
So you're not going to see a prospect to try and do whatever you're supposed to do, right? Now, can I give you some advice?
Of course.
You're talking to the mic.
Of course, I would love to.
Okay. My best advice to you tomorrow is that tomorrow morning you don't wake up. Sleep. Okay?
Yes.
You know why?
I don't know.
Because when you wake up, you got to brush your teeth, correct?
Yes.
And you got to use toothpaste, correct?
Of course.
And it's going to cost you money, right?
Of course.
How much will that be?
Probably 20?
20 cents?
$20.
Just to brush your teeth. What kind of water you drinking?
Electronic toothbrush. Inflation.
I give you, okay. Then you're going to have your breakfast. How much is that going to cost?
$5.
And now you wish you came up, right? Then you're going to have lunch. How much is lunch going to be?
20.
20 Hong Kong is $5, okay. FA all like that. Then you're going to have dinner, right? How much is dinner?
$50.
That's 50 Vietnamese dong, okay. Now, so tomorrow, if you wake up, you're going to spend about $20 and you're not going to earn any money. So good financial advice is you don't wake up. You save $20. Agreed?
Agree.
Yeah. You see? So don't wake up tomorrow. Huh? Tomorrow is Wednesday. Are you got any appointment on Thursday? No?
I also don't have.
Oh, then you sleep till Friday. You got any appointment on Friday? No?
Trying to find.
You better find tonight, okay? Because otherwise you're not supposed to sleep, you're not supposed to wake up till Saturday. Understand? Now, you get that message now?
Yes.
So it's very important that you must be in front of people. When you're not in front of somebody, then you got to what? What does a woodcutter do when he's not cutting trees? He's sharpening his axe, right? So if you're not in front of a prospect, you better be studying because you only have X hours a day. Now, do you know why I'm giving you money? Do you know why I'm giving you money?
No idea.
No idea. Because you got to learn this lesson, okay? When you talk in our business, you get paid. Correct? You talk to prospect, there's a chance of earning money. If you don't talk to anybody, you won't earn any money, right or not?
Yes.
Okay. So you need to talk. The people who fail in our business are those who come in here and become secret agent. What do? Don't tell you. You got to talk. I don't care what you talk, but as long as you're in front of a prospect, you talk. You got to have the activity. Then of course you got to have the selling skill. Okay, that's another thing. So the more you talk, the more money you earn. Correct?
Yes.
Yes. Take some. Why sometimes you get $2, sometimes you get 5, sometimes you get 10?
I have no idea.
You have no idea. Because your next prospect can be a bigger prospect, right?
Yes.
You see, those of you who didn't come up here and talk get no money. And do you know why he got so much money? Because he displayed what we call a basic thing called courage, right? You got to have the courage. Let's thank him. That money is not to buy food. That money is your lesson for today.
Yes.
Okay? Thank you. Win. I hope you win. So, it's about activity. Look, there's nothing new. Of course, things have changed. Eric this morning spoke very well. He talked about the new way of prospecting among especially the younger people. Understand? Don't worry if you're older, okay? Because those older people don't know internet, so you don't need to use that one. You still can talk on the phone, huh? So don't get overly worried. But you got to earn the money. And the harder you work, the more money you get. Very simple, huh? Next. You see, the 10-pin bowling, some of you are doing MDRT, some of you are not. Just look at the different type of agents. The first agent is like bowling game. The first guy, his name is Finito. Every year, every frame is a broken frame in bowling. Okay, same like some FAs, they come in here, every year is a bad year. That's the kind of score you get. Then you have the kind of players, not so bad lah. So one good year, one bad year, one good year, one bad year. Then the score is okay lah, 100 something in bowling. Then we call him so-so. Then you have the kind of agent, well, good agent, not bad. Every year is MDRT. If it's not a strike, it's a spare. If not a spare, it's a strike. Just like this year MDRT, next year caught the table. Next year not caught the table, never mind, still MDRT. But if you do that all the way for 10 years, your score is very good. But you look at this one, this one, Mr. Todd, Mr. Todd. Every year is a great year. And that's why in bowling it becomes a perfect score. So we have Miss Mary Chen here today, Dr. Mary Chen. 30 years TOT, some of you are not even born yet. Let's give her a big hand. Now that record is going to be hard to break, but believe me, somebody is thinking right now of breaking the record. I want to thank the gentleman behind every successful woman. You know there's a man, right? And this is the husband. Okay, let's turn around. Let's give him a big hand. Okay, now, Raina, I just want to tell you, be very careful. Your wife keeps records on everything. Okay? If she wants to know where you were Christmas 2002, she will tell you where you were. Okay? So you just behave yourself. So, you see, it's so important for you, those who are doing MDRT, you did MDRT this year, now this year maybe you're not going to make it. It's very important that you must do it. Because if you don't want to have one good year and one bad year, you can't balance your checkbook. Okay? So, that's income. The second attraction is this thing called the independence. That we enjoy independence. We are our own boss. Now, for those of you who joined the business and your boss told you, when you join us, you become your own boss, let me apologize to you on their behalf. Because when you come into this business, you are not your own boss. You have to earn the right to be your own boss. When you join the business, the person who brought you in, he is your boss, he is your manager, he is your mentor, he is your guide. And you have to listen to him. In the past, we said, well, by the time you reach MDRT, you can be your own boss. But I just remembered MDRT first year, in my time, was called provisional. Because when you do MDRT first time in your life, it could be by luck. Some big case. You come from a wealthy family, you insure your mother, father straight away MDRT by luck. Okay, so second year then you become a member. So you have to, don't let this independence kill you. Independence is a two-edged sword. If you say, oh, I come into this business and I'm my own boss, then the boss says, tomorrow training, I don't want to come by, I'm my own boss. You're never going to make it. In the beginning, he is your boss. And he says, you study, you make call, you make call. Until you get it right, then he will release the string. Don't let this independence kill you. People talk, what is this? What does it stand for? This stands for you only live once. I keep hearing this from the younger FAs. But you see, you must interpret YOLO correctly. To many people, YOLO is I only live once, so I better do what I want to do. I want instant gratification. Tonight I feel like drinking. I go and drink. I don't care. Tomorrow, instead of making an appointment, tomorrow you wake up with a hangover. Because why? Maybe if I don't drink, I can die. If I die tomorrow, tonight wasted. Better drink. This YOLO problem comes up from the fact that they think that they can die soon, so better enjoy first. Okay? Now that is rubbish. That is rubbish. You have two lives. The second one starts when you realize that you only have one life. YOLO means you must realize that you only have one life. And you better make sure you prioritize and you do what you're supposed to do. YOLO means, I hear the other one as work-life balance. You heard that? I heard whole man concept. Whole man concept is very true. But remember, when you come into this business, the whole man concept was that in your pocket there was a hole. Now, don't talk to me about balanced life. I keep hearing, I must live a balanced life. Bullshit. In the beginning, when you come in here, you're in business, your life cannot be balanced. Your life cannot be balanced until your checkbook is balanced. If your checkbook is not balanced, forget about balanced life. It won't work. I went through that before. So you balance your checkbook. And it will mean, yes, it will mean prioritizing your time. You cannot say, I come in today, I want work-life balance. Work-life balance for people earning salary. Business people like us, not balanced. Okay? I'm not saying you neglect your family. Family is important, I know. So you make sure when you work, you go to work. When you're supposed to go home, you go home. Don't go to another home. People say, my wife was like that. I was working so hard. She said, you're not spending enough time with me, So I bought her a Mercedes-Benz. She never complained again. She wake me up in the morning, hey, got new model coming, go to work. If you work very hard, I'm telling you, we are Singaporeans, we're Asians. You work very hard, you bring back your money to home, your family will never complain. The problem comes when you work very hard, you earn a lot of money and you bring it to another home. You bring it home, your family will understand, Papa is working hard. I had the pleasure of going to a friend's birthday party. He was 60 years old. His children, his 3 children and his wife threw him a birthday party. And the eldest son spoke and he said, when I was a little boy, I always wonder where my papa is. When I wake up in the morning, where's Papa? Oh, he's gone to work. When I go to sleep at night, where's Papa? Oh, he hasn't come back. I was wondering, why is it I don't see my Papa? He says, now that I'm 25 years old and Papa is very successful, I understand. I have to see him less because he wanted to give us more. Oh my gosh, I sat in the front row. When I heard him talking, I cried. Because in a nutshell, he put it so correctly. You have to make the sacrifices. Socializing means, of course you must socialize, but socialize with people who can help you in your business. I see agents, FAs going out with FAs for lunch. What the hell are you doing that for? I assure you, it ain't going to be no sale across the table. You ain't going to sell your FA friend a policy and he ain't going to sell you a policy, right? So what on earth are you lunching together for? Go lunch with a prospect, go lunch with a client. At least you're building your business. So this balanced life thing, you got to have your priorities. You need to exercise, but you don't have to join a gym. Joining a gym means spending 1 hour going there, gymming another hour winding down, go home 3.5 hours. You really want to keep fit, wear your shoes, wake up in the morning 5:30, wear your shoes, walk quickly out of your house 15 minutes, turn back, walk back quickly, do some push-ups, do some sit-ups. Enough. Enough. This is biblical. I'm not preaching today, but in Ecclesiastes chapter 3, there's a passage that says, there's a time to laugh, there's a time to cry. It's so famous that even if you're non-Christian, you would have heard it. There's a time to love, there's a time to hate, there's a time to sow, there's a time to reap, right? There's a season for every activity under heaven. But what it means is that there's time for you to do everything you want in your life, but it's not at the same time. When I came into this business, I worked hard for 20 years. You work hard today, your friends will tell you, hey, come on man, don't work so hard man, get a life, get a life. That's the life that you should take. Build your business. I spent 20 years achieving. I did my qualifications, do my MDRT, do whatever I wanted. I was achieving, accumulating. The enjoyment came from achieving. It is so wonderful to wait for your turn at annual awards, waiting for your turn. And finally they go, oh, Robert Young, MDRT, oh, you got so nice. That moment is so nice. I spent 20 years achieving. After that, I accumulated my money. And I spent the rest of my life enjoying what I've done. There's a time for everything. You cannot earn and spend. For 20 years I went on conventions, some conventions I didn't even go. But what I did was, if I go convention, 4 days, I come back after 4 days. The most extend 1 or 2 days. I was saving money, accumulating, investing. I bought my property, I forced myself to save. And I want you to do the same. Because you don't know where or how you will feel 30 years from now. But if you have no money, it's the worst thing you can do for yourself. So forget about YOLO. And what it means is, since you only have one life, you don't mess it up. Now this is the game. All of you have played this, right? What is it called? Snakes and ladders. You know this is the game of life. You start from 0 and your goal is to reach 100. Along the way, you might get a small ladder, you go up. You get a small snake, you go down. And your goal is up or down, whatever it is, you try to reach 100. That's the game of life. And you notice that in this game, there's always a big snake and a tall ladder. For some of you who are lucky, maybe like I said, your karma, whatever, you have an incredible godfather. You come into this business, boom, straight away, you're up there at the top. But if you hit a small ladder, well, you might have a good climb, you might have a good luck, whatever, you go up. But your job is to make sure you reach 100. But look at that big snake. Be careful of that big snake. And this is our business, this is our life. When you join us, when you come into this industry, sure, you might get your breaks. Some of you get your breaks. Some of you make small mistakes. The small mistakes you can handle. But that big mistake you can't handle. That big mistake is non-compliance. It's mismanagement of your own money. It's making poor decisions and you end up getting sued. You can't afford all that. And if I were you, I'll stay out of trouble. This is the game of life. Snakes and ladders is easier because it's by luck. It is easy. But the game of life actually is even easier. Because if you see a snake there, you shouldn't walk in there. Isn't it? You know there's a snake there. You know that if you do a non-compliant thing, you're going to get into trouble. And you still go into it. You must be an idiot. So, learn this. It's a simple game, but there's a lot to it. The key, self-discipline. You have desire, yes. If your desire is so strong, it will overcome everything. That I agree. When I was courting my wife, I wanted her so much. I would drive from Bidok to Serangoon Gardens to pick her up, send her to work in Orchard Road and go back to East Coast Road where my office is. Just to win her heart, I would do anything. The desire was so strong, nothing breaks it. She said no, I said yes. I finally married her. So one day I asked her, why did you marry me? She said, you won't give up. I can't leave you. Every time I want to leave you, you came after me. The desire was so strong. But desire sometimes is just not enough. With desire comes determination. Someone spoke about determination. With determination, in the end, it comes back to one thing. You got to do what you have to do. If you don't do, nothing is going to happen. This is our business. If you don't create the work, there's nothing to do tomorrow. Win. If you got no appointment, there's no need to wake up tomorrow. You know that. Okay? So, self-discipline. And what is self-discipline? I want you to read it. Come on. 1, 2, 3. To do what I have to do, when I have to do it, whether I like it or not. Come on. 1, 2, 3. To do, have. What is self-discipline? To do. Then you do it. You don't like it, you still do it because you have to do it. You have to make the call. You don't like it, you do it. You do it until you get into the habit. And when you are self-disciplined, you can do anything. I'm not going to talk about my self-discipline because I'm so disciplined that some of you know that I even do my Ironman. And up to today, I'm still doing my Ironman discipline. I don't have to talk about it today. Okay? This is the key to your success. Even if you don't like what you're doing, you are disciplined enough to do what you're supposed to do, you will still make it. So, income, independence. The third one is the impact. And this, people come into the business for different reasons. I came into this business in a very strange way. I was an officer in the army. I did my national service. I was an officer. I didn't sign on. At that time, with only O levels, if you sign on, you got quite a good life ahead of you. I didn't sign on. Next day, I was jobless. Our two friends, three of us were sitting down. Somebody said, let's go to the business meeting. Never knew what was a business meeting. I went inside there, and the speaker, first time I heard a motivation talk. Mediocrity is by choice. Success is also by choice. I said, wow, fantastic choice. Yeah, okay. And then talk, and they said, you invest $300, you get this box of cosmetics. And then we don't want you to sell the cosmetics. You just get many people to buy the boxes. And then you go up the ladder, and then after that, you'll be sitting on top of a pile of money, and people just sell the boxes, and then you just collect. Wow, I said, wow, what a business. Fantastic. So I put in $300. And this Mr. Lee Kuan Yew closed the business down 2 weeks later. He said, that's fraud. That's pyramid sales, is fraud. So we were jobless again. My friend said, come, let's go to another meeting. Landed up in an insurance company. I never heard of insurance before. Those days were old days. Huh? And my manager confused me on my first day. He told me, he said, Robert, if you put $100 a month, you put $100 into the insurance company, you bought a policy monthly, you pay the premium $100, then you cross the road and the bus kills you, your mother gets $100,000. I said, oh, this is a bigger fraud than the one I came from. But it was true, right? It's true. And at the moment I heard that and it's real, my impression is that you must be an idiot not to buy it. And that's the impact that you have. You're the only person, come on, you're the only person who delivers money at the worst of times. When somebody dies, the breadwinner dies, you can't bring back the breadwinner, but you can bring back the bread, right? You're the one who delivers money. Everybody delivers bills. The impact when people are sick, when your clients are sick, you're the one who pays medical bills on their behalf. People have a problem saving money. For retirement, you invest your money. This is the greatest financial tool ever. $1 become $1.02, that's a savings plan. $1 become $1.20, that's an investment plan. $1 becomes $1,000 or $100, that's an insurance plan. And you have that miracle. So you would use that, the impact of that is enormous. And you got to believe. The most memorable sale that I ever made was I went to see a prospect at 8 o'clock at night. And I told him, blah, 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 you should take up the policy. And he said, no. And I said, you should. He bought a book, How to Give Objection. 3 hours. I bought the book, How to Handle Objection. At the end of 3 hours, we were tired. He said, I'm going to buy. I said, okay, I'm signing up the application form. Don't mind my asking, for 3 hours you said no. Why finally did you say yes? Oh, I was just, and his answer was this, okay, and that changed my life again. I wanted to see, at 8 o'clock, I wanted to buy. I said, then why didn't you? Why did you argue with me for 3 hours? He said, I wanted to see whether you're selling me because you needed the commission or was it because I needed the coverage? He said, after 3 hours, I believe that you think that I should have the coverage. And that was the one, that sale that changed my life. Finally, the prospect could see that I'm there because I need to sell them because they need the insurance. I took the check home. I was driving home. You know how much was the premium check? $60 for 2 months. But that was the policy that made me realize that I finally, because of what is my belief, is being transferred to the prospect. So the impact is incredible. Your success your work will impact your clients. Your success will impact the people around you. It's so wonderful to see you qualifying for convention and bringing your aging parents. Maybe they're not as financially well as before. I see so many FAs on the first time they qualify to bring the father, mother, never sat in an aeroplane before, never stayed in a 5-star hotel. Bring them. Your success will make them so happy. You impact. And then with your money, with your fame, you can impact a lot more. I'm very grateful to the $1 Million Round Table because when I left the business 9 years ago, I had to pack up my room. I decided to do my first love, which is speaking. I enjoyed it. And I threw away everything. All my production, trophies, how much money I made were not important. I only kept a few mementos. And the most important memento I kept, because everything that I am was from this organization. Its ideals, its teachings, the influence, the person that I became was all from $1 Million Round Table. You see, what happened was in 1980, I came back to the business. I did very well on the first year, and on the second year, I started to get my jitters again. Am I doing the right thing? And then I attended the LUA Congress. Today it's called IFPAS, your association. I hope you are in it. And there was this speaker called Norman Levine. And it was magical. As he spoke, I started to dream. He was making such a big difference. He was changing my mindset. He was making me want to do the business. He was making me want to succeed. And then I said, I want to be like a speaker like him one day on the platform. But the other thing that he said that day was, while he was talking, I don't remember what he said, but I remember at one point in his session, he asked a question. How many of you are going to make MDRT this year? How many of you are going to make MDRT this year? And he looked around the audience. And meekly, I stood up. That day, I had less than 20 people in the whole audience stood up. And he said, if you're really committed to making MDRT, you will make it. I finished 1981 qualifying for $1 Million Round Table, in 82 and 83. But it was because of Norman Levine. So, I did research on $1 Million Round Table. What is this organization that everyone talks about? And I found that they were talking about these 3 founding principles. And I said, when I heard that these are the 3 founding principles, I said, I want to be a $1 Million Round Table qualifier. I never used my $1 Million Round Table to beat another agent in the sale. I don't go and see a prospect and say, buy from me because I'm MDRT. I explain to the prospect, I'm a $1 Million MDRT qualifier, and this is what I believe in. This is the founding principles of the association. And I like that. And I feel proud to be a member. And what happened in 1983 was, there was a company convention and we had this speaker called Rulon Rasmussen. He was the past president of MDRT. And there was another magical moment for me because when he spoke, he was talking about success and everything. And then finally he said, all of us have 2 arms. One arm always reaching up to pull yourself up. And the other arm always reaching down to help pull somebody up. I said, that's what I want to be. I want to be useful. I want to help. I was never the top agent or the top manager in my company. I'm not known for being the biggest producer. But I'm known in the industry today, I believe, because of what I've done to help other people to succeed. And this was what Rasmussen taught me that day. So, I started speaking. To speak, to be invited, you need to do some qualifications. So MDRT was good, so I started doing that. I got invited to my first public speaking. Some manager invited me. I went there with all my materials, all my notes, and there were 2 people, the manager and one agent. Yeah. I poured my heart out, but I enjoyed it, and that's how I started my speaking career. I had 20 years of practice. So, in 1990, the association they have an annual congress, and what they do at the end of the congress, at the beginning of the congress, they will arrow somebody to do the next one. And then they say, Robert, you always complain about everything, you do the next one. So I gave them a dream. I said, I want to do one for 5,000 people. And they said, that's absurd. We are struggling every year to do 1,000. 1,004 was the record. You want to do 5,000? I gave them a layout. I said, we invite the best speakers. Because with the best speakers, people will come. We invite our regional friends from Malaysia, from Thailand, from the Philippines. By then, I knew a lot of people. They gave me the go-ahead. I had an incredible committee. Leong Sao Ho is there, Leong Sao Ho. Current, if past president. He was secretary. Peter Seong was my right-hand man in charge of the project. He has passed on 2 years ago. But that day, I called Norman Levine in 1990. I said, we're going to have a congress, will you come? He doesn't know me, doesn't know who I am. I said, will you come? He said, how many people? I said, 5,000. He said, he laughed. He said, you cannot do 5,000. You've never done 5,000. You're struggling at 1,000. I said, we're doing 5,000. He said, okay, I'll come. In September 1991, we had 5,000 at the opening. No effort is done alone. The committee helped. Muhammad Amin was president that year, represented Singapore. Wee Tiong Hao, who was the president the previous year, chaired the meeting. All the LUA presidents met together to collaborate and see how they can help each other. And that was how it was born. It's been going on for the last 27 years. The next one is in Hong Kong next year. We are not there to compete with MDRT. This was planned to give you the experience of what it is like to listen to best speakers, the feel of the big audience, because it's very motivational. The next one is in Hong Kong. If you can, go ahead. You will lose many friends. You will lose some friends. Maybe not many. I hope not many. You will lose some friends because you became an FA. But the friends that you make in the business are worth more than the people you lost because you were in the business. There's Peter Seong there. We didn't like each other when we started the project. At that time, he's very serious and I'm very playful. We didn't like each other at the table. But because of the project, we became best of friends. When his son was born, shortly after Applic, I became the godfather. And that's how close we were, but he has passed on. The person on the right is Kun Montri. So what happened was that Norman Levine, I had no chance to talk to him. But a few years later, we were both speaking in Manila. We were on the same platform. For the first time, I'm going to share a platform with Norman Levine, my idol. And I told the organizers, can you try get Norman to sit in front with his wife, Sandy? And he was very nice to oblige. And then I told my story, how this person impacted my life. And as I spoke, I was so emotional, I was breaking down. Norman and his wife, they too were breaking down because he didn't know he did so much. He didn't know he changed my life so much. End of the convention, end of the talk, we kissed, we hugged. I said, can you be my dad? My dad passed away when I was 17. And he says, okay, I'll call you son. And we had a wonderful relationship. We met on several times on the main platform. And what happened later on, fast forward, was that in 2015, he was diagnosed with terminal cancer. He always proudly says he had two sons in Asia. Myself and Kun Montri from Thailand. He called them affectionately my two sons. So when we heard that he was terminal, we took a flight to LA, rented a car, went to meet up with him. And we spent a few days, every day going to his house for a few hours talking. And he loved Asia. Asia was everything to him. And then we said our farewell. And I told him, I said, we're not coming for the funeral. He was end stage. And he says, I'm glad you came because there's no point coming to my funeral. I won't be there. We said goodbye. I came back to Singapore. He passed away 2 weeks later. But at the house, he told me to go to the garage. He says, choose anything you want. And I had this book he wrote a book called Yes, You Can. And he autographed it for me. And he said, to my adopted son and good friend Robert, I'm proud of our relationship and the wonderful life and career you have proven. Yes, you can. The man who impacted my life, I dedicate this talk to him today. So I'm going to ask you the same question that was asked of me 27 years ago. How many of you are going to do your MDRT this year?